All right. See who joins under asking questions today. We'll go ahead and get some stretching done, some weights, and that will work. Yeah, I think we're golden. Put that back there for right now. I'm going to do some toe touches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You know, I think I want to get some juice. While I go get some juice, I want to let you guys entertain everybody. Let's see if I can lower this a little bit. That should have been fairly effective. Give us just a little bit better view of these monsters so that while I get some juice. Alexa, play Summer by Vivaldi.
Vivaldi, The Four Seasons, Summer, Ai Presto, by Antonio Vivaldi.
I want to get some juice. You guys hang tight. Look at these faces. Just look at these little babies. My sugars. Cranberry. Diet cranberry. Oh, yummy. It's a spot. I'm going to get busy doing some stretching because no matter what, I have to get my stretching done. Has anybody joined us yet? Well, a YouNow person has joined us. Good morning. We're just waiting for a few folks to join us. We're going to start doing some warm-up and stretching and a little calisthenics. And in the meantime, we were listening to a little bit of Vivaldi and keeping an eye on the babies. Zachary, he's a chug. He's about 13 years old. Zoe is a chewini. She's about 12 years old now. And Zeke, the baby, he's only about 4. But little sweetie, huh? That's Chiggy, right? Yeah. Oh, nice. Oh, nice. Oh, nice. Yeah. Yeah. Well, YouNow person, if you decide to log in, have any questions, hit me up. Is that you, Boo? Hey, how's it going? Do. 9 o'clock? Yeah. Time to get out of bed, you guys. Right? I've only been up for about 4 hours. After being woke up by a rather loud kitty cat. I think we need to put Cassie in a bag and hang her in the closet. Right? What I think we got to do. Yeah. Oh, my goodness gracious. Okay, Dax. All right, Dax. Alexa, play Canon in D.
Canon in D by Rudolph Baumgartner.
Little quiet contemplation music while we wait for a few folks to come on and start asking some questions. I'm going to do some warm-ups here in about 2 seconds. Let's continue. If you have not experienced the unconditional love of a pet, I highly recommend it. One thing we already know, petting an animal, cat, dog, can lower your blood pressure, which can also lower your heart rate, your resting heart rate. And it can calm the mind. And it's good not only for you, but it's good for them too. Bonding, as it were. Yes, sweetie, I love you too. Oh, yeah. My suggers. My suggers, yeah, I love you too. Yes, I do. Yes, I'll pet you all day long, sweetie. I know. And you would have me pet you all day long too if you had your choice, wouldn't you? Yes, you would. Oh, just a spoiled little girl. Oh. Zoe's been with me since 2007. Most reliable woman in my life so far. Huh. Huh. Big sweetie. Huh. What? Yeah, I petted you already. Petted you already. Nose cold and wet. Good. Ears warm and dry. Better. Cold and wet. Yes. Yes. Still hard for me to believe she's 12. Especially yesterday. She's out doing donuts in the grass as we're out doing a walk. Acting like a little puppy. Huh? Acting like a puppy yesterday, weren't we? Oh, Daddy's girl. Yeah, I love you too. Oh my. Oh my. Oh my. I've had a lot of dogs in my lifetime, but this is by far one of the sweetest little dogs ever. Big dogs, small dogs. My German Shepherd was a sweetheart too. My Dane was a lap dog, 130 pounds worth of jet black lap dog. Huh. None of them have quite had the sweetness of this little girl. Not quite. Although Zachary's getting pretty close, the old man. And Zeke is just a big love bug, huh, Zeke? This is Daddy's girl, right here. Softest ears. Oh, yeah. Softest ears ever. Well, YouNow person, as soon as this song is over, we're going to start doing some warm-ups and stretching and a little bit of calisthenics. Some static stretches and some dynamic stretches. We'll start off with some dynamic stretches and then we'll move into some static stretches. You want to be a little bit warmed up before you do much. Who's joined us? Hey, Low-Toad, how's it going? Happy Sunday. Just doing a little bit of dog time before we get busy doing human stuff. I was just telling our other folks how good it is to pet an animal. It's good for the pressure, lowers your heart rate. It's good for them too. Yep. Can you beat it? What a combination. Toss in a little bit of getting healthy, doing some stretching here in a minute, right? Hit me up if you have any questions today there, Low-Toad. Yeah. Ooh. Still hard for me to believe she's going to be 12 here shortly. 12 this year. And 13 for this monster. Huh. 13 for this monster. Yes, Mr. Z. Zeke's the baby. He's only about 4 now. Huh. Will be soon, I think. That general ballpark. They're all rescues. We're listening to Canon in D by Pac Bell. It's one of my favorite soothers, relaxing music compared with some of your Tchaikovsky and some of the speedier, more upbeat classical. Huh. Right. So what do you guys want? Tell me. Well, do you want anything in particular? Zeke, what do you want? What? Ah. Okay, you guys. Well, I gotta go spend time with humans. I spend lots of time with you guys, but now I gotta go do some human stuff. Yeah, like maybe some stretching, huh? Some calisthenics, warm up. You guys want to stretch? You stretch all the time. You guys ever watch dogs when they go to get up or go to do anything? There, make you look at my ugly mug for a few minutes. How you guys doing today? Seriously, you ever watch a cat or a dog after they've been napping for a while, after they've been curled up and napping for a while? First thing they do before they go anywhere, first thing they do when they wake up, stretch. Especially, I mean, cats are so obvious about it. They're stretching and then, scratching. Dogs do the same thing, but their stretching is not quite as over the top as what you'll see cats do. Anyhow, if you guys are sitting, I recommend you get up. One of the things that I push is being less sedentary. If you spend a whole lot of time sitting down, it's bad for you in many ways. Physically, the lower back, not going to help out the hips. Anytime you spend a lot of time sitting on your butt, you've got that little chair, two tailbone or your two butt bones and your tailbone. That's your tripod for sitting. If you do it for a long time, like I did, and you get real heavy, like I did, it can do some damage, imminent damage. You can literally create lordosis. Lordosis is one of the three main spinal issues that we humans deal with. And you guys all know the kyphosis. That's the hunchback of Notre Dame kyphosis, the hunched shoulders, the head forward. You know, the scoliosis, where the spine curves in a lateral manner, side to side, either in an S or a C curve. And then lordosis, and the easiest way to describe that, if you go to ride an old horse, you go to a stables and they give you an old nag and they come walking it out and you see the back and it looks like a U, that's lordosis. That's sway back, as they call it. In humans, that takes your lumbar and pushes it forward towards your stomach. It also does nasty things with regards to your hips and just general posture in general. If you spend a lot of time sitting like that, and I did it for my entire career in computer training, eventually bad things will happen to you. You have no choice. The human body is not designed to sit. For one thing, the human spine did not evolve to be in a sitting position. And the more time that we spend compressing our spine, compressing all the vertebrae and smushing out all the wonderful discs that are in there, trying to preserve the space between the vertebrae, because everything from your lumbar all the way up to your cervical, you've got to keep that column, if you will, limber and without being compressed. 100 million Americans suffer back pain. I'm one of them. I know. Hey, YouNow person, glad you could make it. Anyhow, so let's do a little bit of a warm up, a little bit of stretching. I'm going to do this anyway, whether you're here or not, because eventually, when I'm done talking to you guys about whatever you want to talk about today, and it doesn't have to be health related. If you want to ask me questions on pretty much any topic, go for it. But if you have questions on losing weight, quitting smoking, dealing with diabetes or prediabetes, if you have back pain, if you suffer chronic pain, if you're one of the folks who are currently caught up in the opioid epidemic, the crisis that's happening right now, we can talk about that as well. But in the meantime, get up, join me, do a little bit of stretching. In fact, if you want, we could even play a little bit of lie swatter. If you haven't played that game, it's a fun thing that we do on Amazon, the Alexa app. That's one of them. There's a whole bunch, but it's kind of a fun one. Alexa, play lie swatter.
Hi, welcome to Lie Swatter, the true or false trivia game from Jackbox Games. I'm going to share 7 impossible-seeming statements. After each, say truth or lie.
We'll do a round or until somebody can come up with a question.
Smirnoff Ice is the only alcoholic beverage allowed to sponsor NASCAR events.
Alexa, repeat that.
Smirnoff Ice is the only alcoholic beverage allowed to sponsor NASCAR events.
Lie.
You seem to think this one's a lie. Yep, that's a lie.
Touch the ceiling.
Al Gore owns a NASCAR vehicle.
Lie.
You say lie. Yep, that's a lie. NASCAR didn't have a website until 2004.
True.
You seem to think this one's true. And you were wrong. That one's a lie.
Ah.
NASCAR's 1989 Rookie of the Year was Dick Trickle.
True.
You answered truth. You were right.
I remember Trickle. Touch the floor.
NASCAR's official song is Tracy Chapman's Fast Car.
Repeat that. What do you guys think?
NASCAR's official song is Tracy Chapman's Fast Car.
Lie.
You seem to think this one's a lie. You were right. That's a lie. NASCAR began as a carriage racing league.
True.
You answered truth. And you were wrong. This one's a lie.
Sounded good.
NASCAR and Harlequin teamed up to release NASCAR romance novels.
Lie.
You answered lie. But you were wrong. It's
Really?
true.
NASCAR romance novels?
Okay, time to hear how you did. You scored 4 points. Good enough if you ask me. Would you like to play again?
No.
Thanks for playing Lie Swatter. Good day to you.
I have a question for you guys, those who are on right now. Any of you guys know your BMI? Seriously, I want to know. Who's joined us? Good morning. Hey, Big Bad Wolf. Glad you could make it. Happy Sunday. I was just asking folks right now. We played a little bit of Lie Swatter. I was just asking folks if anybody... Yeah, doing good. I was just curious if anybody who's on here right now knows their BMI, knows what their body mass index number is. Doing a little bit of warm up and stretching right now. ¿Qué pasa? Then did you get the? Yeah, actually good. Yeah, buzzed a little bit on the sides and the back. For me, I work out 6 days a week, right? So I mean, constantly. So the shorter I can keep it, for me, it's more comfortable. I used to have it in the old Marine Corps style, high and tight, but that's a little bit too short. Had a few folks complaining I looked too bald. Like, really? Hey, Tosh. Aren't you at work? Anyhow, we're doing some stretching. I'm sure you're probably doing plenty of stretching, just getting past all the obstacles where you're at right now. Hey, how are you? Twist those elbows to the back. I was asking if anybody on here right now knows what their body mass index number is, their BMI number. My current BMI number is between 21 and 22, so I'll share. That's what my BMI number is. And I'll bet Natasha's number has come down a bit since Natasha, congratulations, has been losing some poundage, which is always a good thing. All right, let's do some wrist rolls, you guys, while we talk. You guys going to see the 60 Minutes interview with that girl, Gonzalez, from Parkland High School. She's awesome. She's going to be on tonight on 60 Minutes, and her major comment about Trump wanting to put guns in schools, stupidest thing she's ever heard. Love that kid. Awesome. Telling you, it's going to be the Gen Zers that are going to save our butts from the stupid politicians and their inaction on guns right now. All right, elbows. Just follow along. If you're sitting, stand up. Seriously, people spend way too much time sitting these days. For those of you who remember, this is wax on. Go the opposite direction, wax off. Now, the objective with dynamic stretching and calisthenics, once we get to that level of warmth, but dynamic stretching is simply the constant movement of the muscles and the bones. 206, 207 bones, and 640 muscles. All of them need to be warmed up. And it doesn't matter what you're going to be doing, whether you're going to be out taking a jog, biking, tennis, it doesn't really matter what you're doing. The objective is to maintain a nice limber body and be able to do all of the daily activities no matter how old you are. Mind you, for most of you on here who are my millennials and my Gen Zers, I would imagine staying limber and staying moving is not something that should be a big challenge. Unless, of course, you have put on too much weight. And that can, depending upon how much extra weight you put on, be detrimental in trying to get around. I guess my watching my 600-pound life shows is having more of an effect than even I admit, simply because I know these people don't have to get there. I mean, they really don't have to get there. One gentleman was 842 pounds. Mind you, that's also the gentleman who passed away during the filming of the show. How? I just can't understand how anybody gets to 842 pounds. I don't understand how they get to 500 pounds. I mean, I only got to 200, and that was 205, but at my heaviest, 250. And I don't know. I can't understand getting double that. I don't see how that's even, I guess the frame of mind for that I'm finding is not hunger. No, it's emotional eating. You know, and the people that are filling out the diaries these days, the ones that I'm getting back, are pretty much telling me that exact same thing. The people that are putting on a lot of pounds are also the ones that are eating without a good reason. They're not eating because they're hungry. They're eating to replace things that are going on emotionally to satisfy an inner emotion requirement, an inner emotional need, if you will, and they're replacing it with food. Bottom line is, we have an obesity epidemic right now happening in this country. 2 out of 3 Americans are currently overweight or obese. 2 out of 3, 66%. So this isn't something that's just going to go away on its own. If we don't address it, if we don't, as a nation and as a planet, literally start fact-checking, looking at the reality of what's going on, then maybe for the 3rd year in a row, lifespans will shorten. They've shortened for 2 years in a row, first time in history, first time in the decades that we've been studying. Because remember, when we first started studying lifespans, average lifespans in America, we were talking, people were passing in their late 60s, 68, 69. Now we're up into our almost mid 80s as far as average lifespans. But until 2 years ago, every single year, it was getting longer. I mean, incrementally small, sure, but it was going up. We were living longer in general. But starting 2 years ago, 3 years ago, and then the year after that, lifespans have shortened. Go Google it. It's insane. With the miracles of modern medicine and everything that we know about how to take care of the physical body, the endocrine system, everything, cardiopulmonary, we know how to make it tick. We have modern medicines and all better understanding of what's going on inside our bodies. We are able to look inside, not just with the blood, but literally look inside of the human body and see exactly what is going on. So why lifespans are decreasing is one reason only: the obesity epidemic. The lady who was on CNN who was talking about this with Wolf Blitzer, about a month back. She's on there constantly. She's a commentator on there constantly. Like Ariva Martin, my friend Ariva, is on there constantly as well. The lady's name is Alcindor, her last name. The issue that she brought up for lifespans decreasing, because Wolf asked her directly, why do you believe lifespans are decreasing? And her answer was the opioid epidemic. That was her answer. Okay. You have to, of course, understand that she is heavy. Reality is being ignored. The obesity epidemic is claiming 1,500 to 1,600 people a day between coronary artery disease, diabetes and everything related to it, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. These are all parts. These are all parts of the obesity epidemic and the number of people we're losing on a daily basis because of it. 1,500 people, minimum. Okay? Gotta. Oh, hey, David. How's it going? Glad you can make it. I'm just reminding people why lifespans have decreased for 2 years in a row, and the fact that even the people that are supposed to be helping them to understand what's going on with it are not facing the reality. Truly. What is it? What's the way to naturally increase testosterone? By changing workout routine. Well, the only way you're going to truly increase testosterone is to, one, get it checked first with your doctor. I did that years ago. My doctor, just to make sure everything's, says, let's make sure and test your testosterone and make sure everything's good. So first and foremost, get it checked by the doctor, first and foremost. And then there's a whole lot of supplements out there for that you can take to help, I guess you could say, increase your levels of testosterone, if you will. And that's not going to actually increase the production of testosterone. Your body's only going to create a certain amount, but you have a certain amount of free testosterone within your system that you can actually claim and put to use. And there's a few things out there. One, I highly recommend kicking up your spinach intake. Seriously, right? Iron and the folate in the spinach. One, spinach increases your mental acuity, right? Just in general. So does losing weight, funny enough. Your brain tends to work better. Same thing with testosterone. If you're carrying extra body weight, if you have adipose tissue, especially if you've got the subcutaneous, the visceral fat that attaches to your body organs, that will literally suck the testosterone right out of your blood system. I mean, if you want to have a way right off the bat to help yourself, make sure your BMI is at the healthy level. First and foremost, that would be the first one I'd recommend. And if your BMI is at a healthy range, right? One thing that's really going to kick off your testosterone and pretty much your entire, keep your hormone levels balanced, because testosterone is just one of many. You've got upwards of, I'd say between the hormones and the neurotransmitters and the chemicals, you have upwards of 50 different interactions that can happen between your endocrine system and the chemicals released as hormones in your brain and neurotransmitters. I mean, it's a very delicate balance. So the key things to me, if you want to really make sure that you're getting the most out of your hormones, the ones that you're only going to create a certain amount, one, your BMI needs to be in the proper range. Get your body mass index. If you don't know what it is, tell me your height and weight right now. I'll look it up. Or go Google it yourself. You can find out in about 10 seconds. And it's simply based on your height and your weight. Right? That's the number that you'll find on the chart based on how tall you are, how much you weigh right now, your body mass index. That's also give me a good indication how long you're going to live. That and your A1C. So first, BMI. Absolutely. First and foremost, what you want to get down to is the proper body mass index. And that's simply going to be getting your weight down to the proper level for the height, for your frame. Right? My BMI used to be 38, 39 at one point. And this is when I was really big. Here it is. That was me at 252 pounds, which is about 115 pounds ago. Okay. So I was, and my BMI at that time was 38, 39. So I didn't do myself any favors either because I was also a cigarette smoker for 31 years. So I had to lose. I've taken off 115 pounds and I got rid of the cigarettes a long, long time ago. But what you want to do, truly, if you want to be at your best, get your BMI down where it needs to be. Get your body mass index number down in the healthy range. It's anywhere between 19 to 25, 18 and a half, 19 to 25 is the healthy range for BMI. If you don't know what it is, just go look it up right now, and that way you'll have a target. You'll know, all right, here's my BMI now, and here's where it's got to be. So then you have a target, literally, to hit. But once you get your BMI in order, that's just the first step. Because if you eat a lot of junk food, seriously, if you eat a lot of, McDonald's and Jack in the Box and Carl's, if you eat a lot of junk food, the high saturated fat and the high cholesterol content is also going to suppress your hormones. That's going to, one, take up a whole lot of time adding fat onto your body as opposed to keeping your body lean. It's also putting a lot of extra pressure on your endocrine system, your cardiopulmonary system, and if you're carrying a lot of extra weight, your skeletal system. You can literally give yourself sway back, lordosis, if you're carrying a lot of extra pounds and you sit around all the time. So those are just a couple of the keys. The diet. You eat healthy. Awesome. So if you're eating healthy, and remember this, and this is true, even if you're eating health food, if you're still eating portion sizes more than you need, in other words, at the end of the day, the end of the week, the end of the month, right, end of the year, if you're consuming more calories than you're burning, then you're at a positive energy balance. That means that you're probably gaining weight. Now, it could be a pound a month. Right? So that's still 12 pounds in a year. Over 10 years, that's 120 pounds. I know. That's how I got up to 252 pounds. Doesn't happen overnight. And there's no symptoms. You don't get a sore throat or runny nose or run a fever because you're getting fat. Right? Or if you're even getting very fat, there's no symptoms until your endocrine system decides to go on strike and your pancreas says, well, I'm not going to put out the amount of insulin that you need to process all of the sugars you're putting into your blood. And then you become a diabetic. And that's what hit me. I got hit with type 2 diabetes. How much should I eat? Well, that's very simple. It's truly based on your body weight. Right? For instance, the average 200-pound person, right, will burn about 2,000 calories a day. Therefore, to maintain weight, if your BMI is at weight, right, then you're going to consume about 2,000 calories a day to stay at weight. For every 3,500 calories additional, right, per day, per week, however often additional, that's an extra pound that you're putting on. Oh, hey, Lewis, glad you could make it. Canon mommy? Is that Kema mommy? Trying to build muscle, bro, but lose fat all. Well, yeah. And that's why it's important when you're trying to get yourself in your body mass index to where it needs to be. The formula to do this is pretty easy. 75% of your attention has to go in your diet, what you're putting into your body, right? And I'm not talking about going out and buying salads and tofu and rice cakes, because I know most of us are still going to keep eating the things we like to eat. But what you need to look for and what you got to work on, David, is the portion sizes, literally. So, like I said, a 200-pound person is going to need about 2,000 calories a day just to maintain that weight. And you want to track what's going into your system right now. Sounds to me like between trying to build the muscle and lose the fat, what you've got to gain control of are the calorie counts. Literally what's going into your system right now. Because 75% of getting yourself back into healthy is your diet. 75%. The other 25% is your activity levels. And I'll get to those specific numbers in a minute. But the diet, and this is the key, because you have to do both. 75% of your activity to get in shape has to be your diet. 25% of your activity time, your effort, has to be for your exercises, right? And it doesn't have to be signing up and going to the gym. And I'll tell you what I mean regarding that in half a second here. What is it? Game of protein. Well, yeah, the bottom line. Thank you, Mommy. The bottom line isn't necessarily what you eat initially. I'm concerned with the quality naturally. But right off the bat, to turn your positive energy balance, which means you're gaining weight, into a negative energy balance, which means you're losing weight, you first have to start looking at what's going in your mouth. You have to start keeping an eye on what you're eating, what you're consuming. And I'm not necessarily, again, I'm not talking about going out and health food all day. Because even if you're eating healthy food, if you're still eating too much healthy food, you're still going to gain weight. Yes, it takes less junk food for you to get fat than it does eating health food. So you'll have to eat more of the healthier, leaner, lower fat, low saturated, low cholesterol foods to put on weight, but the numbers are still the same. Whether you're eating 3,500 calories of cheeseburgers, you're having 3,500 calories of salad, if you don't burn off that 3,500 calories, it still attaches to your body as 1 pound of fat. Every 3,500 calories. And yeah, it'll take less cheeseburgers than salad to get to that 3,500 calories, but the number is still the number. And that's what you got to start looking at, David. You've got to start writing down what you're consuming and tallying those calories. You've got to keep that diary. There's 5 W's that I have my clients keep on their food activity log. It's a food, diary, and activity log at the same time. And if you want to write these down, please do it. And if you want to go ahead, I'm off. Check out God on Earth. Agree and will now. Well, fan me up, David. And if you want any further advice on trying to get your BMI where it needs to be, you can get that fat off and build some more muscle, just go to the CDC website and look up activity recommended for adults. Look at the Choose My Plate website as well. The CDC, the Center for Disease Control, just look at Choose My Plate. In fact, I got it right here. So for guidelines on the exercise and guidelines on your diet, you can go to that website or just hit me up, send me a message. And I will follow up what I've told you with an email, which will outline what you really want to do. And if you want to do the food diary, my activity log, just send me a message and I'll send it to you and you can use it. And if you take a week and go over that diary, then I'll review it with you. And that way we can figure out how to get your positive energy balance into a negative energy balance and get your BMI where it needs to be. And yeah, we can get some muscle built on you too. And I'm pretty sure you're still a younger fellow than I am. So anybody, I don't care how old you are, I can put muscle on you. As long as your heart's still beating and your eyes open up every morning, yeah, I can put some muscle on you. I don't care if you're 10 or 100. Mind you, if you're 10, I'm going to need parental permission first. Anyhow, David, I'm glad you could make it and had really good questions. One thing that I really appreciate, you guys, hit me up with your questions. And it doesn't have to be on personal training. It doesn't have to be on health coaching. I am a well-rounded individual, if you will. Father of 4, I'm writing a dog book right now, just so you know. Anyhow, I was talking about everybody trying to get themselves a little bit more healthy. If anybody wants to fan in today and coast for a few minutes, that would be fun too. Anybody has any comments, wants to get a little personal trainer time in with me while we're at it. In the meantime, I want to continue doing some warm-ups and some stretching because when I'm with you guys today, I've got 4 miles waiting for me. I do 4 miles 6 days a week. I'm doing about 24, 25 miles a week for my cardio. On top of that, I do weights 3 times a week, just so that I can keep things toned. I wouldn't be much of a personal trainer if I couldn't personally train myself, correct? Hey, Jack, glad you could make it. Well, I appreciate that, Jack. If you have any questions, hit me up. I'm just getting ready to do a little bit more calisthenics and warm-up. So if you're sitting down, get up and join me. Appreciate it, Jack. Anyhow, roll some hips. What do you think, you guys? Roll the hips around. Somebody's joined us. I'll pop over and say hi in about 2 seconds. In the meantime, like I say, if you're sitting, stand up. We spend way too much time as a society sitting on our butts. In the office, at school, at home, opposite direction, you guys. We're just rolling and loosening the hips right now. Remember, you guys can ask me questions on anything. It doesn't have to be on personal training. It doesn't have to be on health coaching. Whatever interest you might have today. And if I don't have an answer, I can certainly find one out. Alexa, say hello.
Hi.
Love these things. All right, who's joined us? Let me say hello. Boo, boo, boo. Hey, Maureen. Glad you could make it. Well, I'm glad you're a fan. Thanks, Jack. See, the problem we have in the United States right now is we have an obesity epidemic that's claiming about 1,500 people a day. And I was talking earlier about a lady who was on the show with Wolf Blitzer, the Situation Room with Wolf Blitzer last month. And she was trying to say that the reason lifespans have decreased for 2 years in a row is due to the opioid epidemic. And yes, while the opioid epidemic is a very, very bad thing, we're losing only 175 people a day. Now, I don't say that lightly because that's a horrible number. But when almost 10 times as many people are dying because they're overweight or obese, seriously, that's what's happening right now. We're losing 1,500 to 1,600 people every single day because they have too much weight. They're too fat. I know. I got caught up in it. I was 115 pounds heavier than I am now at one point. And I didn't do myself any favors because I also smoked cigarettes at that time. So I didn't become a personal trainer till almost 4 years ago. And that was at 55, 56 years old. And at 46 years old, this is what I looked like. That was me at 46, you guys. 252 pounds and smoking cigarettes from age 15. So 15 to 46, I smoked cigarettes. 46 years old, I was still in the computer training industry. 252 pounds smoking cigarettes. I didn't do myself any favors. If I didn't get hit with type 2 diabetes back then, I probably would have kept smoking. I probably would have kept gaining weight, and I would have probably blown my heart out with a heart attack like 1,500 to 1,600 people a day are doing right now. And we're avoiding the issue. We're not talking about it. It's being ignored. Why? 2/3 of the nation are there. 2 out of 3 people in this country right now are either fat or very fat. I know. That was me at 205 pounds. All right, I'm 138 pounds right now. That was 205 pounds of me. And I was almost 50 pounds heavier than that in that picture, my old driver's license picture. So I didn't do myself any favors at all, believe me. What is it there, Jack? Well, that's part of it, absolutely. In fact, let's go ahead and do that one. You want to lean with me as we go side to side. What you want to do on this one is we're going to take one arm and reach it all the way down as far as possible on the leg like this. And then we're going to take that other arm and bring it back over like this. And we'll do these 20 times. So just follow along with me. And only go down as far as is comfortable. The objective for this one, obviously, we're going to be loosening up the lumbar, the lower spine. We're working the upper body as well, the shoulders and the entire scapulothoracic intersection as we're moving the arm back and forth with the shoulders. And only go down as far as is comfortable, okay? Now, what we call this is dynamic stretching as opposed to static stretching. The dynamic stretching is a constant movement, whereas a static stretch, you would come to a stop and you would hold for a certain period of time. And we'll do that in just a minute. So, that is your good stretching for the side to side there, Jack. Let me show you another one while we're at it. How you doing, Uzuj? Uzuj? I try to pronounce these. If I don't get it right, my apologies, but welcome. If you have any questions, hit me up. But in the meantime, follow along. We'll do some more stretching, Jack. Try. Take your elbows. Just let them go to the back. And if you're doing this properly, just let your body weight take it all the way to the back. And when you do this, you can also sometimes hear a little pop, pop as your spine, your vertebrae, will adjust themselves. This one I do all the time, simply because I am one of the 100 million Americans who have chronic back pain. That's what I said. 1 out of 3 Americans suffer back pain. That's 100 million people have chronic back pain. I'm one of them. My back pain was severe enough that after all the MRIs, x-rays, and everything was figured out, they took me out of my career, put me on permanent and severe disability because of it. Scoliosis, lordosis, bone spurs from L1 through S5. My coccyx does not curve under like everybody else's does. It goes straight down and off to the side. And I have a permanent upper hamstring injury. That's just my lower back. So I understand what it is to have permanent and severe back pain. My back pain will be 24/7 for the rest of my life. Nothing I can do about it other than stay limber, continue to stretch. And unfortunately, 100 million, just like me, are having issues with their back. So I understand, especially if you guys are one of them. If you suffer back pain like I do, please, I understand. If you have any questions on it, let me know. Here, put your hands on your hips, Jack, since you're up, and let's just rotate our hips all the way around. And your feet are just about shoulder width apart on this one, maybe just slightly more. But again, this one is to loosen up your lower back, to loosen up your hips. You want to get the pelvis nice and warmed up with this one, and we're going to go the opposite direction in a minute. This one by itself is really good for the hips, the lumbar, the coccyx. Remember, when you're sitting down all the time, you're literally sitting on a tripod. You got two butt bones in either cheek, and you got your tailbone at the end of your spine. That's the tripod that you're sitting on. And you sit on that long enough, yeah, you're going to create permanent damage, especially if you're carrying extra weight. Take it from me. I know. That's what I did. I was in computer training 25 years. I spent my days sitting. Hey, Harry, sciatica. Oh, yeah, I know. Harry, my goodness gracious, Harry, I wouldn't think you'd be old enough to be getting sciatica. Now, sciatica starts obviously with the sciatica nerve, and it can begin right about the upper lumbar, and it will radiate sometimes all the way around and all the way down a leg. And it can be the left or the right, depending upon the person. But the sciatica pain, and again, anytime you're dealing with back pain, and especially nerve pain, you want to make sure and get all the x-rays done, all the MRIs done, the bone scans. Do not settle until they have identified exactly what is going on with your back. Do not ever accept a disorder, accept a diagnosis that you know isn't right. What is it, Jack? Sciatica. Oh, it's nasty, Jack. Sciatica pain affects a large percentage of the people that have lower back pain. And those are the folks that have the sciatica pain where it actually starts. But quite often, the source of the pain, the sciatica nerve itself, it will actually radiate all the way down the leg. And that can be debilitating, literally debilitating. And one of the things that really exacerbates sciatica, and I'll repeat this again, carrying too much weight. If your BMI is not where it needs to be, and I'd be very curious what your BMI is. Who's the sciatica there? Harry? Yeah, Harry, I would be really curious to know what your current BMI is. And that's based your body mass index number. That's based on your height and your weight. If you want to tell me your height and weight now, I'll look it up and I'll tell you your BMI. Right? To me, when you carry more weight than you need to, you're not just putting pressure on your internal organs, because you are. You're putting pressure on your heart, putting pressure on your liver, you're putting pressure on your pancreas. You're putting a lot of extra pressure on your internal organs when you're fat or very fat. I know, I was both. I forced myself into type 2 diabetes. Adult onset type 2 diabetes, I was hit with it. I'm a full-blown type 2 diabetic and will be the rest of my life. So when you get heavy, when you put on weight, especially 27.5, well, Harry, actually, that's not too bad. And let me explain to you what I'm talking about. A normal BMI, a normal body mass index, the healthy range, is between 18.5 and 25. That's the normal healthy range for body mass index. Okay. So 25 is the limit for healthy BMI. 25 to 30 means you're overweight. 30 to 35, or anything over 30, is considered obese. But 30 to 35 is obese. 35 to 40 is very obese. 40 and above I consider mortally obese. Those are the people that are dropping dead from heart attacks in their sleep. But 27.5 is a very doable number. My BMI, when I was this heavy, when I was 252 pounds, my BMI was between 38 and 39. You repeat that. My BMI was between 38 and 39. Okay? It's 21 to 22 now, and it will be the rest of my life. So 27.5 is not bad, truly. I mean, 1/3 of America right now has a BMI over 30. 1/3, right? 33% of the United States has a BMI over 30. 1/3 of the other folks, right? So have a BMI between 25 and 30, like you. And then only 1/3 of Americans have a BMI between 18.5 and 25. And there's a very small percentage of people with a BMI lower than 18.5, 18. Very small. There's very few people in this country that are still suffering the effects of anorexia or bulimia or have issues where they do not eat enough. Our problem is not eating enough in the United States. Our problem is eating too much. You haven't seen that show, Super Size Me? That movie? You should. Hey, Jack. What's 5'4" and a half? What's your current weight there, Jack? Tell me what your height is in inches and tell me what your weight is in pounds or centimeters and kilograms. I've got both on here. But tell me what your current weight is and your current height is, and I'll tell you what your BMI is. But as I was saying, at 27.5, Harry, that's really not too bad. The reason you are a nation of fatty is due to the fact that you can get really tasty, high-fat food for a fraction of what we pay in the UK. You're absolutely right. And unfortunately, the United Kingdom, and my mom's from London, so half my family's over there, so God save the Queen. The same thing is happening in the United Kingdom that's happening in the United States. Just here in America, we are leading the way in this one globally. Out of 7 billion people on the planet, 20% are either overweight or obese. Okay, so you're globally, all right? This is a global issue. I deal with it here in America because I am an American Council on Exercise certified personal trainer and certified health coach, the ACE certification. So, but I speak in South America. I will speak in Europe. I'll speak in Southeast Asia if they ever have me over there. I'll be in Costa Rica next month and hopefully speaking with a group down there about this. But this is a global issue, even though I'm an American personal trainer, right? And retired Marine, just for you, so you know. This is a global issue. 20% of the planet, 1 out of 5 people on this planet need to lose weight. In America, we tend to lead the way, right? 66% of Americans, 2 out of 3 are either overweight or obese. I know, I was both. That was me at overweight, close to obese, and this was me at obese. In fact, I was very obese. My BMI, like I said, was 38, 39 at that point. Have you seen Matters? Oh, yeah, all that time. Oh, sorry, Jack, did I miss it? What's the weight there, Jack? I missed the weight. Boop, boop, boop. Let's see. Hey, Jack, well, hit me up again with it because I don't find it on here. Is it 5'4"? Was that your weight or your height? 5'4", and I'm looking. I don't see the weight. Shoot the weight in there for me again, and I'll look it up. So 5'4", and then let me know how many pounds or how many kilograms you are, and we'll look up your BMI right now on here. Yeah, I've seen Man vs. Food, both with the old host and the new host. And if you look at both, Adam, the old host, he got really big and then he quit and lost weight. And the new guy, he's already pretty big going in. My guess is he's probably right on the line for overweight and obese. But yeah. We're not exactly doing ourselves a whole lot of favors, but one of my favorite shows that I watch these days is My 600-Pound Life. Those people that have gotten themselves to a BMI of 40, 45, 50, they're in a position, some of them, where they can't even get out of bed anymore, right? And they continue to stuff their face. There was a gentleman on a show the other night. His doctor was estimating that he's consuming 5,000 to 7,000 calories a day. Let me repeat that, right? This guy, and he was somewhere over, I think it was 730 or 740 pounds. He was in there, and his brother, both, right? And his brother was just breaking 500 pounds, okay? And they both still walk. They both get around still, which amazes me. But the doctor, the bariatric surgeon that he's going to see to try and get the surgery to help him lose weight, is estimating that he's consuming 5,000 to 7,000 calories a day. Okay. Now, just a reminder, every 3,500 calories that you consume, and I don't care if it's junk food or health food, it doesn't matter. Every 3,500 calories that you consume that you don't burn off, either in your daily autonomic function, which is about 2,000 calories average, right? The average person burns about 2,000 calories just because you exist, okay? For every 3,500 calories that you consume that you don't burn off in some sort of exercise or activity at least, I don't care what you're doing, gardening, walking the dog, irrelevant. Every 3,500 calories additional that goes in that doesn't come out one way or another turns into 1 pound of fat. So this guy on this show, where My 600-Pound Life is the name of the show, he's consuming upwards of 2 pounds of possible additional food a day. Now, okay, let's put it this way. At 740 pounds, just to maintain 740 pounds, he'll need 5,000 to 6,000 calories just to maintain that weight, okay? If he's consuming 7,000 calories a day, that's an additional, let's say, 2,000 calories more than he needs. So that means that every 2 days, he's consuming an additional 4,000 calories. Every 2 days, he's putting on more than an additional pound of fat. Every 2 days. The doctor put him on a diet of 1,200 calories a day. That's what he put him on. He put him on a 1,200 calorie a day diet. This 743-pound guy said he wanted him to take off, 30 pounds? He wanted him to take off 30 pounds in a month, a pound a day. And at 742 pounds, you can do that. 242 pounds, I do not recommend it. Even 342 pounds, I don't recommend it. But at 742 pounds, he put him on a 1,200 calorie a day diet. Okay. Came back a month later, and he'd actually lost 83 pounds. It was awesome. Absolutely awesome. Proud of him. Good job. Well done. But that just shows me, right? And one of the main things that he did to help him get there is he was writing down everything that was going on. He keeps a food journal now of everything that he consumes and the amounts. And that's literally what has to happen. In fact, I'm writing up now a new diary, right? A new food diary and activity log. I'm going to publish the darn thing. I'm going to put it out there on Amazon. I'm also going to give it away to my YouNow people. So if you want to get my personal food log, because you can get activity trackers, you can get food logs, you can get apps for this stuff all over the place. But if you want mine, and personally, I think it's the best, but then again, I happen to be a little bit biased. Hey, Brienne, glad you can make it. Chet Smith, what's going on? And welcome to everybody over there in the UK who's watching. I do get a lot of folks watching over in the United Kingdom. And if there's any of my friends down there in Costa Rica watching, hey to you guys too. See you next month when I'm down visiting. But in the meantime, I just want to make sure that everybody understands we have an issue to deal with, and the reality is the reality. And if you're heavy, you need to lose weight. Bottom line. You plan to live to 100, and I would imagine that every one of you on here would want to live as long as possible. You have to have your BMI, your body mass index number, has to be in the proper range. Harry, at 27.5, you're going to be able to get that down to 25 or below very easily. I promise you. Just a matter of watching your portion sizes, sir. Over there in London, there are some awesome places to eat. I know. I've been to a lot of them. And some of the food is awesome. I mean, well, most of the food is awesome. Right? But the same thing happens over there that happens here in America. It's portion sizes. It is literally portion sizes. And the fact that many times we're eating without having hunger. Many times food is going in our face that is not required. The body is not saying, feed me because I'm hungry. I need nutrients. The mind is going, feed me because I'm emotionally unhappy. I'm sad. I'm depressed. I'm angry. Whatever. I'm finding the biggest cause for overeating right now, and as long as I've been doing this last 3-4 years, are emotional issues. Not simply because I'm hungry all the time. Very few people are going to admit that, though. Most of them are just going to say, oh, it sounded good, it looked good, it felt good, whatever. It was in front of me. Somebody handed me a cheeseburger, so I ate it. And we get that all the time. Hey, it's Red. Hey, Red, how's it going? Eddie, what's going on? I can't put numbers. 1. Jack, I'm not quite getting you there. We're having some issues there, Jack. Well, I'll tell you what, buddy. You can go Google it even. Seriously, you can go pull it up on the web real easy. Just look at BMI calculator, body mass index calculator, and just look at where it says your height and your weight. Follow it to the box in the middle, and that's going to tell you your BMI. All right. So that's the number that more important to you than it is to me, literally, because your body mass index number is the number that's going to tell you, all right, healthy is 25 or below. 18.5 to 25 is healthy for BMI. If your body mass index number is between 25 and 30, you're overweight. If your body mass index number is 30 or above, you're obese. If it's over 35, and mine used to be 38, 39. I was in the 38, 39 range. You're very obese. 40 and above, then you're one of those folks who I'm talking about that we're losing on a daily basis, or you very well could be. Because every single day, 15 to 1,600 people are dropping dead because they have too much weight. Happening right now. Yeah, we have an opioid epidemic happening here in this country, and that's global as well. And the obesity epidemic happening in America, happening around the world as well. Right? It's happening in Europe. Right? Unfortunately, the United States leads the way in this epidemic, if you will. 2/3 of the United States is either fat or very fat. I know, I was both. Right? Yeah, let's call it what it is. You want to be, say, overweight and obese? Fine. But let's call it what it is. I was either fat, and before that, I was very fat. For me, it's the body mass index number. As a personal trainer, health coach, that's the number that I'm concerned about with you. It should be the exact same conversation you're having with your primary care physician, your doctor. Discussing your BMI, right? You should be talking about your blood pressure, your cholesterol, and that includes your highs, your lows, and your triglycerides. And then very, very important, your A1C. What is your A1C number? I will be highly impressed if anybody on here can tell me what their last A1C test number was. I would be very impressed. I know what mine is. I'm a full-blown type 2 diabetic. I darn well better. 30 million Americans are currently diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. I'm not certain what the numbers are over in the UK and Europe, but we're talking about almost 10%. But that's nothing. I mean, seriously, compared to the numbers of pre-diabetics, that's the scary number. 109.0. Okay, so 190 and you're 5'4". Well, let's look it up here real quick, and then I'll explain to you what the A1C is. So if you're 5 feet 4 inches in height and you are 190 pounds, your BMI is currently 33. That's your BMI at this moment. Hang on, 5'4.5". Okay, well, let's just round it down to 5'4", just for this sake. All right. So your BMI right now, let's say, is between 33 and 34. Right. Actually, a little bit taller. That would probably put you between 32 and 33. So right now, your BMI, your body mass index, is between 32 and 33, which does put you in the obese range. Right. But it doesn't put you in the very obese range. Remember, my BMI was 38, 39. That's when I was this big. That was me at 252 pounds. Okay. So when I was that weight, 252 pounds in that picture, my BMI was 38, 39, right in there. So right now at 32, 33, actually, that's not too bad. You can get that down. Once you get that BMI down below 30, then you're no longer in the obese, right? Once you get it down below 25, then you're in the normal healthy range. And it all comes down to taking off the pounds. For you, figuring out where you want to go as far as pounds go, well, let's look at this. So you're currently 190, all right, which puts you in the 32 to 33 range. For you to get down to where you want to be, 25, all right, so you want to get down below 150 pounds. So you want to get down, say about 145 would be a good target number for you. Okay. So if you're currently 190 pounds, okay, and you want to get down to a BMI of 25, right, which is the healthy range, you need to take off 45 pounds. You can do that. I took off 115 pounds. 45 pounds you can do slowly and over time. It's simply a matter of turning a positive energy balance into a negative energy balance, making certain that at the end of the day or the end of the week or the end of the month, the number of calories that you've put into your system have been burned more than you've consumed. If you eat more calories than you burn, then you'll continue to gain weight. And that could be a pound a week, a pound a month, doesn't matter. Even if it's a pound a year, over 10 years, it still puts on 10 pounds. And that happens naturally. As we get older, our metabolism tends to slow down a little bit. Yep, that's, yeah, Jack, the age isn't as important as the fact that we understand and we know that even at 13, you're on top of the game, buddy, a whole lot more than me. Because it took me 33 more years to figure out that I couldn't be heavy and be healthy. I was 252 pounds heavy at 46 years old. So at 13, being overweight simply means that you're able to take control of it a whole lot sooner. The A1C number that I'm talking about, you guys, is 60-day. Well, it determines how well your pancreas, which pumps out the insulin in your body, how well over 60 days it processes the sugars in your blood. Okay. Because that's the job of the pancreas, is to pump out insulin. So anything that you eat, and it doesn't have to be candy. Remember, anything can turn into a sugar, right? If it's a carbohydrate, white bread can turn into a sugar in the body, right? Processed grains, especially rice. Anything that's a carbohydrate is also a sugar. It doesn't have to be a Mars bar or Snickers, okay? It doesn't have to be candy. Almost anything can turn into a sugar. And of course, all the things naturally, like candies, cakes, cookies, all of those cupcakes, all of those things have sugars as well as saturated fat and cholesterol. So what you have to work on, and this is the most important thing, Jack, Jack, as long as you're a fan of mine here on YouNow, I am your personal trainer. And anytime I'm on here, feel free to come on here and ask me any questions that you want. If you want to hire me separately, first you have to get permission from your parents. Anyone under 18, I have to have parental permission to work with. But I do work with teens. My youngest client actually is 10. And yeah, he's overweight as well. And I work with him and his dad because his dad is also overweight. So it's kind of a family thing. But yeah, my website is Personal Training with Brad. You know, so you want to have your dad go sign you up on there, that's great. Just put in a note, I'm a fan on YouNow because you get an hour for free, right? Every YouNow fan, they get their initial consultation for free, plus they get an hour of my time for free, mostly on Skype. So that way you don't even have to leave the comfort of your house, and we can still work on getting you losing some weight and getting you healthier. But the A1C number I was talking about is how well your body is processing sugars, right? If you do not have an active working pancreas, or if the insulin levels in your system are not processing the sugars the way they should be, that is going to lead to diabetes mellitus. At 13, you want to get that weight down and avoid getting into diabetes at all. Because at 13, you're also prone for diabetes mellitus type 1, unfortunately. Diabetes mellitus type 2 normally does not hit until someone is in their late 30s, early 40s, thereabout. That's why it's been called adult onset diabetes. For years, type 2 diabetes has been known as adult onset diabetes, simply because most of the people that have been hit with it in the past are in their 40s, usually mid 40s. Like me, I was 46 when diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. But I was also obese. My BMI was 38, 39, and I was a cigarette smoker. Very, very bad. Very dumb. So taking control for me didn't happen to 46. At 13, you can take control now, which means even before your body finishes growing, right? And that's not going to finish till you're 25. Your prefrontal lobes are not going to be completely formed until you're in your early 20s. Your bones can continue to grow to 25 years old. So you're only halfway through your growth process right now. So if you take control now, okay, get your BMI where it needs to be, and this is something that you should be working with your pediatrician on, as well as your parents. Everybody should be on board with this. So the last physical that you had with your doctor, I would imagine your doctor said you need to lose a few pounds. I'm guessing, but having been through 4 kids and many of those visits myself, and having had one son who was overweight at one point, I understand and I've been there. So my guess is you don't have a pediatrician. Well, Jack, that doesn't matter how far away I am, because I do almost everything on Skype, which is on the computer. So I have clients all over the world. Um, they don't even have to leave their house to get personal training with me. They just sign up on my website, we schedule a Skype session, and off we go. And, well, once I collect credit card information from your parents. But the bottom line, seriously, you're young enough now where you can actually take control and make sure that by the time you're fully grown, by the time you're 25, your BMI is going to be perfect, your A1C, your blood sugars are going to be perfect, so you don't have to worry about ever having diabetes, right? You're going to have a plan in place before 25 that's going to keep you healthy so that you can live to 100 plus without wearing diapers and drooling on yourself. Because that is the goal. I mean, I would imagine that should be the goal for everybody. But Gen Zers like you, absolutely. I would expect every Gen Zer on here, and that's anybody I believe who's under 26 at this point, or under 22. Anyhow, any of the Gen Zers or millennials that are on here, and that's most of you. I expect you guys to live to 100 years plus. Like most people are living to 80 now, healthier, happier. But lifespans have decreased for 2 years in a row. Literally, lifespans have gotten shorter on average because of the obesity epidemic, because 2 out of 3 Americans are overweight or obese. So if you could help us lead the way, I would appreciate it, especially for your age group. Understanding that portion sizes, that's literally what it's going to come down to. Let's look at it like this, Jack. What is it? Doing some squats. Your mom has a pediatrician. Well, my guess is that pediatrician is actually for you. Because if your mother has a pediatrician, my guess is she takes you to see him or her, is my guess. In which case, he's actually your pediatrician. Because adults don't have pediatricians. Pediatricians are just for kids. So I'm glad your mom has a pediatrician. When was the last time you got to go see the doctor is what I'd like to know. When's the last time you had a physical? And that should be every single year, right? Every single year you should be seeing your pediatrician. And my guess is, oh, hey, Charlie, what's going on? Hey, Josh, what's happening? My guess is, Jack, that your pediatrician or whatever doctor you see for your annual physical, your pediatrician is probably telling you that you need to lose a few pounds, okay? And that's just a matter of portion sizes. I'll bet, without even looking, I'll bet you got Oreos in your cabinet at home, don't you? Never had a physical. Well, Jack, then you need to talk to your mother. Because your mother needs to get you in and get a physical done. Seriously, that's important. You need to find out all the important information, your height, your weight, your blood pressure, all of the important things to make certain that you're on the proper growth path. At 13, you should be seeing your doctor every single year, once a year at least. All right, so tell your mom that your YouNow personal trainer and health coach recommends that you get in for your annual physical. Because you really do need to take control if you are overweight at this point. And if you tell me you're overweight, then I understand and I believe that you know what you're talking about. At 13, I know what I was talking about. That's for darn sure. Maybe I do have a pediatrician. I have a doctor that gives me meds and weighs me. Okay, good. Well, that's the same thing. Yeah, doctor, pediatrician. A pediatrician is simply the name of a doctor who looks at kids. So if your doctor gives you your meds and weighs you, then yes, that's your pediatrician. So that's the person that you need to be talking to about how much weight he needs you to lose. And that should be a number that you guys have discussed already. Right? So when you have your weight taken in the doctor's office and you get on that scale, right, and then the nurse writes it down and then you go in and have your meeting with him and your mom, right, and he says, here's your weight, right, at the same time he should follow it up with, well, here's the weight you should be at for your height and your age. In which case, there should be a difference in that number. There should be a difference between the weight you're at now and the weight your doctor wants you to be. Right? Once you have that number, then you have a target. You have a goal. Right? Once you have that goal, then you, and from that point, can literally take control of your own health. You can say, all right, I know I love to eat cheeseburgers. And I love to eat fries, and I love to eat fried chicken, and all of those things. No, she just says lose weight. Well, Jack, I'm glad that she's at least saying that you need to lose weight. I'd be much happier if she referred you to a nutritionist, right? A dietitian, someone who you can talk to regarding your diet, because being at the proper weight, right, is 75% what you eat and 25% what you do. And it has to be both, right? You can't just watch your diet but never do any exercise or never do any activity, right? You have to do both. But 75% of your time has to be watching the food you eat. 25% of your time, you've got to get some exercise in. When you need to lose weight, especially, right? An hour a day, 5 times a week, minimum. Playing basketball, riding your bike, anything that gets you out and gets you moving. So 1 hour, 5 times a week, minimum. I'd be happier if you did an hour every single day. But you know now. Well, I'm glad you know, because if you know how much you need to lose, Jack, then that gives you a goal. That gives you a target. In which case, I can work with you very easily on turning that goal into a SMART goal. Right? In other words, making it so that you're going to be able to achieve that weight loss. I don't care if you have to lose 30 pounds, 40 pounds, 50 pounds, whatever. Right? Once you know the number, once we have the number, right, then we have a target. Once we've got a target, then we can set some goals and SMART goals to make sure that you're going to achieve them. Right? There's no sense setting a goal if you're not going to be able to achieve it. So for me, any goal that you set, I don't care what it is, in school, in business, in romance, whatever, any goal that you set for whatever reason should be a SMART goal, one that you can achieve. And the best way to do a SMART goal is to set it up properly in the beginning. Right? SMART simply means specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound. Right? The 5 keys to setting a SMART goal. So it's awesome that you know how much weight you need to lose. That is very good. Make sure you fanned me here on YouNow. So if you reach out to me on my website, you'll get your initial consultation free, and you'll get an hour of my time for free. If you want to do the food diary, right? You want to do the food log, the one that I'm getting ready to publish, just message me on any of my platforms. Facebook page is probably the quickest. I answer that faster than almost anything. But message me, just say, hey, Brad, talk to you on YouNow. Please send me your food log, your food diary. And basically it's just a 1 week, activity chart and food log so that we can see everything that you've consumed and figure out where the calories are coming from. And it's very simple. Here's a for instance. Alexa, how many calories are in an Oreo?
There are 40 calories in an Oreo.
So we know if you go have 10 Oreos, that's 400 calories. That's simple. Alexa, how many calories are in a McDonald's double quarter pounder with cheese?
McDonald's double quarter pounder with cheese contains 262 calories per 100 grams, 74 calories per ounce. A typical size is an item of McDonald's double quarter pounder with cheese, which contains 280 grams, 9.88 ounces, of McDonald's double quarter pounder with cheese, and provides 733 calories.
733 calories. Now, every single restaurant that you go to, every fast food place, they list exactly how many calories are in every item on their menu. And even if you don't go to a restaurant, right, or eat out, if you eat at home, you can still look up the calories that's in pretty much anything and everything that you eat. So for me, there is no excuse for not being able to do a diary of everything that you consume and determining how many calories are being consumed on a daily basis, a weekly basis. And the entire goal is to find out, are you gaining weight? And if so, how much are you gaining? How often? Are you putting on a pound a week, a pound every other week, a pound a month? Are you losing weight? Right? We'll figure it out. A 1 week food diary and activity diary, because it contains both, right? 1 week will let me extrapolate a month, right? So I can figure out how many calories you're putting in your face in a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month. So I can figure out with you, okay, here's what you need to do to lose weight. Here are the portion sizes that you need to cut back on. Right off the bat, simple things. Instead of getting a double cheeseburger, get a single. Instead of getting a large fries, get a small fries. Oh, I have someone who's telling me something. I'm being requested. My guess is they probably want to go outside and go potty. It's getting kind of late, and I've been on here for a little while with you guys. So I've got to get myself ready to go do my mileage, and I've also got to take my dogs out for a walk. But I think this one probably wants to go outside right now, huh? You don't want to wait anymore, do you? Huh? My sweeties. I'm writing a dog book right now, too. I'm hoping to get my dog book finished and published by the end of the year. But I think more importantly, I need to get this food diary finished my new updated food diary, and I'm going to put this out on Amazon. Seriously. My book, I've got a book on Amazon right now, Pushing Double Nickels. Just go look up under my name. You'll see my book on Amazon. But I want to put out this small book, just a real quick book, Food Diary Calculator and BMI Calculator. Something that everybody can use right away to start working on this. Because you don't have to stay heavy, is the point I'm trying to make. You don't have to stay overweight. Right? You can literally take control of yourself. And I don't care if you're 13, 30, or 90. It doesn't matter how old you are. Huh. This is my 12-year-old Chiweenie, by the way. She's been with me since 2007. Just about the sweetest dog you'll ever meet. Mind you, they're all the same. Doesn't matter how big, what breed. Every single dog on the planet can be the sweetest dog you've ever had if you raise them properly. You want to go out, Zoe? Hang on, I gotta let her out. All right. Anybody else want to go? Zeke, you want to go out? Zach, you want to go out? All right, well, hurry up. Go do your business. Anyhow, you guys, I'm going to be signing off here shortly because I've actually got to go do my miles. I wouldn't be a very good personal trainer if I didn't personally train myself. And you certainly wouldn't be paying attention to me if I still look like that. At one time, I had a 46-inch waist. Now I'm down to about 31, 32. At one time, I was 252 pounds. I'm 138 pounds. And my BMI used to be 38, 39. And my BMI now is 21, 22. My body fat used to be 35%. Now my body fat's between 5 and 6%. And I have done all of this starting at 46 years old, right? So those of you who are younger than me, I imagine that's just about everybody on here, because I turn 59 next month. Oldest certified personal trainer you'll ever know. But if I can do it, you can do it. I guarantee you. I spent 46 years being unhealthy, 31 years smoking cigarettes. I was literally almost mortally obese at one point. Big, 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 big. And I can guarantee you, if this old IT guy, this old computer training guy can take control, starting at 46, right, and slowly over 8 years, it took me from 2000 to 2013 to take off about 115 pounds, slowly, over time, right? You can do the same darn thing. And I will simply be in maintenance mode, have been for almost 5 years now. I'll be in maintenance mode the rest of my life, right? I will never, ever again be overweight or obese. It's just not going to happen. And the same can be said for any one of you. I don't care if you're 30 pounds, 50 pounds, 100 pounds overweight. You can take the weight off slowly over time. You don't have to do diets and surgeries and all this stupid stuff. Take control of your portion sizes. Reach out to me. Say, Brad, send me your food log so that I can keep your food log for a week, food and activity. Right? I'll go over it with you once you've done it. Right? Seriously. My goal this year, the reason I'm spending so much time on YouNow this year, 84 million Americans are now pre-diabetic. That's 1 out of 4 are pre-diabetic. If you carry extra weight, that increases your risk tenfold. If you're obese, it increases your risk 20 times. Right? 84 million Americans are now pre-diabetic. So for me and my goal, I want to get everybody off that list. Oh, just hit me up under Pushing Double Nickels. Just go look up Pushing Double Nickels on Facebook. And that's my fan page for my book and all the folks that I talk to as far as my health stuff. In fact, I've got a forum on my Facebook page for Pushing Double Nickels. I've got a forum on there for health questions. So you can hit me up on there as well. So you guys, let me leave you with this. And this is, let me get in your face on this one. On average, just in the United States, on a daily basis, we lose 160,000 people. That's just attrition. Now, that's for, what is that? Yeah, pushing double nickels. Now that's ELS, not LES. Nickels is still spelled NICKELS. If you put in LES, you won't find it. But or you can just click on the link on the upper right corner there on the YouNow page right there. Just click on that Facebook link that says pushing double nickels. It'll take you right there. Anyhow, I just want to leave you guys with this before I get going for the day. Every single night, 90,000 people are going to go to sleep and not wake up the next morning. That's the way it goes. That's the numbers. Those are the numbers. And we're not going to get past those numbers. Those numbers are not going to change. What is going to change? Hang on. Let me let her in. All right, come on, let's go. Yes, you're back. I see you're back. All right, well, hop on the bed. We're going to go for a walk in a minute. Let me finish with everybody. No, you can't go out there yet. No, up on the bed. No, you can't go out there yet, please. Up on the bed. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you. Good girl. They really are smarter. Dogs are a lot smarter than credit for. My dogs understand hundreds of words. And any dog can. And any dog, it doesn't matter how big or how small or what breed, any dog can be the sweetest dog on the planet. There's no such thing as a bad dog or a dangerous breed. Only stupid humans. Anyhow, yeah, nickels, ELS. You got it. Pushing double nickels. That's the one, Jack. But let me leave you with this because I got to get going, you guys. I have miles to do myself. I like to keep my heart healthy too. Every night, 90,000 people go to sleep and don't wake up the next morning. That's the way it goes. Tonight, 90,000 people are going to go to sleep and they won't wake up tomorrow morning. And numbers closer to 87,000, but give or take. I round it off. That means that every single morning when your eyes open, you're still in the game. That should be the glass is half full. That should be, I still have the opportunity to do things. As long as your eyes open up every morning, as long as your heart is still beating, as long as you have the ability to wake up and go, hey, I'm still here, then that means that you have the opportunity at that point to get up and make yourself better. Right? It doesn't matter the increment, right? Becoming better is tiny little steps day by day by day. Tiny little things that you do day by day by day. Lowering your portion sizes on the food that you take in, becoming more active and less sedentary instead of sitting around all the time. Get off your butts, get moving. Right? I don't care if it's something as simple as going for a walk. Right? The more often you do it, the better off you're going to be. The more often you pay attention to what you're putting in your face and why, the better off you're going to be. All right. So, and the more time, as far as I'm concerned, you spend with me on this platform talking about this, the better off you're going to be. Anyhow, I really appreciate you guys spending the time with me today. I've had some awesome questions. For me, the more questions I get from you guys and the more feedback and input I get from you guys, the whole much better this platform is and much, much better I can do for you guys. All right. Jack, I expect to hear from you. I have good things that I expect out of you. I know darn well at 13, you have the whole world in front of you. The world is literally your oyster. So reach out if your mom or dad wants to help you with me, help you lose some weight and want me to help you. Just go on my website, Personal Training with Brad, and just put a note in there for me, or just reach out to me on my Facebook page, one or the other, and I'll help. In the meantime, you guys can expect me back on hopefully by tomorrow. Be a little bit later in the day probably tomorrow because I have weights. Mondays is always my weight day. But I will be back on tomorrow and as many days as possible so that I can help be your personal trainer here on YouNow. In the meantime, you guys, what is it? Oh, Jack, my rates are $35 an hour. And I'm worth every penny. And it's about 1/3 of what I used to charge when I was doing computers. But for me, the satisfaction of getting people healthier is more important than anything. Yeah, I have to keep a roof over my head, kind of important to keep these babies fed. You'd be amazed at the cost of veterinary care these days. It's insane. And I've got one dog who's 12, one dog who's 13. So as they get older, they're going to require even more. But anyhow, like I said, my rates are $35 an hour for personal training and health coaching. If somebody signs up for 10 hours, they get it at $30 an hour. So for 10 sessions. And like I say, any fan of me on YouNow, one, you can claim me as your personal trainer right here on this platform. And two, if you reach out to me on any of my platforms, it doesn't matter, you get my initial consultation for free to make sure that I can help you. And then, yeah, if we agree that I can be of some service, then you'll get your first hour free as well. All right, so you get your consultation and an hour free just for being a fan of mine here on YouNow. In the meantime, like I said, if you wake up tomorrow morning, and I expect every single one of you will, all right, make it a positive day because you're already in gravy at that point. The glass is half full. Just remember, 90,000 people aren't going to wake up tomorrow morning. I expect that you aren't going to be one of them. So I expect to see everybody back here again tomorrow. And in the meantime, reach out to me on any of my social media links if I can help you in the meantime. Again, have a great day. Go get out there, get off, stay busy. And Jack, I'll see you soon. See you guys later. Take care.